This Works has always been a problem-solving brand, and as the problems in life evolve and change, our job is to help people to meet those challenges with effective and trusted solutions that work, backed by science and proven to work. Now, as we are in a very, very fast-paced environment and our lives are becoming more and more full of stress and full of challenges, many people are finding themselves wired into or stuck in what is called fight or flight. This is the nervous system, and there are two parts to it. The fight or flight is the one that keeps us safe, and then the rest and digest is what allows us to rest and relax and go to sleep at night. And the problem that many people are facing across the world is that they are stuck in a sense of agitation and in fight or flight mode, which is something we at This Works are trying to solve with our daily rituals and products that can be used together to help us to manage our nervous system, to take care of how we interpret the world. This Works has been working in the field of neuroscience for over 8 years, and we consider ourselves a neuro-wellness brand. With my background as a scientist and the research that we do with our experts, including our neuroscience professor Gabby Bader, we have been looking at how the nervous system responds to the environment, and in particular how touch, aroma and light can be used together to create small daily rituals that give us the opportunity to take care of our nervous system. The nervous system is how we interpret the world. So the more that we can manage our nervous system, the better we are able to manage our stress, keep our sleep quality, and improve our overall well-being, which actually affects our skin health and how we look as well. So the way that This Works comes to you today is as a neuro-wellness brand, and what supports all of the products that we introduce and we talk about is our neuro platform. Now, this is a research and development platform, and the science in that platform includes the use of brain imaging techniques, that's fMRI, and other clinical ways that we measure the nervous system. So what you should know about This Works is the products that we give to you, that we present to you, are backed by very robust neuroscience and user studies, so that when we say This Works, we have the data and the evidence to show you that that is true. This Works puts sleep on the map in terms of cosmetics, and that's because with my background as a scientist, I've always been fascinated with circadian rhythm. That's the body clock that drives all of the processes that take place in our body, whether we are aware of it or not. And the most important one is actually sleep at night. Because so many of us are struggling with this circadian rhythm, because we have light that's coming into our eyes at all times, because we work at all hours, we are no longer respecting the natural rhythm that takes place in our bodies, and that's causing us lots of issues, including problems with sleeping, but not only daytime fatigue, issues with our food and our digestion, issues with mental health. So it's in everyone's best interest that we understand the body clock, and at This Works, circadian biology anchors all of the products that we produce. So the products, if you think about it, are there to help you from daytime into nighttime, and you can use them to help to support your natural rhythm in your body to maximize your well-being. So did you know that all of the cells in your body are controlled by a small clock, and the big clock is actually held in the brain in an area called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Now, these clocks tell the skin cells what to do at what time of day. So for instance, when you use your moisturizers, when you use your SPF, is very much linked to what is going on in the cells at that time of day. Overnight is when your skin repairs itself. This is when the cellular repair is taking place, the detoxification is taking place, and it's also when you lose the most amount of water through your skin. So it makes complete sense that you use your products at night that help to support cellular repair, and also that you use a good moisturizer to stop the skin from drying out. Conversely, in the daytime, actually DNA repair that takes place in the skin is not at its optimal first thing in the morning. So for people who live in sunny, hot places, using SPF as soon as you wake up in the day is very important, because the skin is more vulnerable in the morning than it is in the afternoon, when DNA repair is actually taking place at a higher level. So knowing these small things about your skin can really help you to optimize your skincare routine, and that's why This Works skincare products have been built for exactly that reason. When we think about sleep, we also need to think about what is going on in the nervous system. People people who don't sleep well often have a problem with the cues the nervous system is receiving. Think of it like this. If you are stuck in being alert and awake and your fight and flight system is engaged, then there is no way your body is going to be able to relax sufficiently to be able to feel safe enough to go to sleep. It's all about safety. Giving your brain and your body cues that it is safe to relax and to eventually sleep is how we learn how to sleep better at night. So thinking about the idea that we need to manage the nervous system in the evening so that it begins to unwind, to let go, so you stop being inactive and alert and you move into rest and digest. So small daily rituals that we repeat over time can help to retrain the nervous system so that it is much calmer in the evenings and you are much more able to get to sleep. And that is something that we can tell our consumers we should do ourselves in our lives. Using products, taking light in the right way, reducing stimulation can change everything about how you sleep at night. So what gets in the way of sleep and what challenges do we face? So one of the biggest problems is light pollution, because it's light that is one of the key stimulations for the circadian rhythm. It should have been the sun, but now we're surrounded by all types of artificial light, and that confuses our brain. So if we allow light into our eyes at all times of day, particularly once we move from 6 o'clock to the evening, that causes confusion and it stops the natural change in the hormones and neurotransmitters. So the sleep hormone, you will have heard it, it's called melatonin. It rises in the evening, but if you have too much bright light of the wrong intensity, it will suppress that neurotransmitter from being released at the right levels. On the converse, we need cortisol in the morning, and cortisol is a very important hormone, neurotransmitter also, that we need to be active. And you need cortisol, but you don't need it in the evening. And so one of the other disruptors to circadian rhythm is that our cortisol levels are too high in the evening, and the way to avoid that is to make sure that you use your morning in the right way. So it's not just about how you sleep, it's also how you wake. You need to get up, you need to get out, you need to get light, you need to, if you can, do some kind of cardiovascular exercise. That will help the cortisol levels to reduce as you move into the evening and allow the melatonin to rise. And so if you think about light, that is very important to how your sleep will be affected. The body clock loves consistency. So going to bed at the same time every day and waking up around the same time every morning anchors the natural rhythms that take place, and the body likes that. So it's important, if we want to sleep well, that we keep consistency around these 2 points in the day. And also, it's helpful if we create some routines in the evening that sends cues to the brain that says it's time to relax, it's safe to let go. This is the relaxation part of the 24-hour day. And so these rituals are important. We should think about what we do in the evenings to make this true. So back to light, reducing light in your environment is really important because it helps to signal to the brain that the evening has arrived. But also things that we do in our homes, things we do in our lives, taking exercise early in the evening, for example, rather than late at night, because that raises your core temperature, and if your core temperature is raised, your body, you will not sleep well or easily. And then thinking about how we use touch and how we use aroma. So This Works is a neuroscience-backed brand. We have done many studies in the use of aroma to help to send signals to the brain and the nervous system that it is time to switch off, it is safe. So using aroma is very, very powerful and very fast. When you inhale a This Works product, particularly the Deep Sleep Pillow Spray, which has got so much science-backed study behind it, when you inhale the fragrance, what happens is it crosses straight through the blood-brain barrier and very quickly helps to make that shift within the brain so that the body can start to go into rest and relaxation and paves the way to sleep. This is what our studies using brain imaging has showed us. This is what the studies of self-evaluating people who've had sleep problems tell us. Actually, using our aroma is a very fast fast and effective way to help make that transition from daytime activation to evening calm, and to get to sleep and stay asleep more quickly. So using aroma in the evenings is a powerful way to create a ritual. And touch, because touch is a very, very primitive form of nervous system regulation. When we are carried in the womb, we're feeling pressure from being in the womb, and that's how our nervous system first learns what safety feels like. The mother's relationship with the baby, right from when they are born to as they develop, helps the nervous system of the child to understand how to regulate itself and how to feel safe. So if we want to calm ourselves in the evenings, then touch is a very, very effective way to do that, because there are cells in the skin called C-tactile cells that when you stimulate them through gentle touch at quite a slow pace, it sends a message to the brain and helps to put the brain into the rest and digest system. So combining touch in the evening, using it on yourself, but if you have someone else, it's safe touch. It's also very effective. Combined with aroma, these rituals over time can help to rewire and help you to get that rest and relaxation that you need. As a brand that has taken its purpose to help people to manage their nervous systems, for me, I had to identify a part of the day which is really difficult for me to manage, and that is the evening. So when my day is over and I'm very busy, like all of you, I'm firing on all cylinders. When I make that transition, when I get home and now I want to be with my family, or I want to relax on my own, I want to do things that are good for me, I struggle. I struggle to switch off, and I stay activated. I might be using my phone for work, or I might be using it for social media. I might be doing more tasks because it's easier for me to stay in active mode than it is to relax. And that's because my nervous system is actually quite dysregulated from an injury I suffered from as a child. So I have a constant challenge to help to manage my nervous system. And this is what inspired me to create Own Time. This fragrance is a fine fragrance for skin, and it's been based on all of the years of research that we have been doing with Professor Gabby Bader, looking at aromas and the molecules which are in aromas, essential oil aromas, and these are called terpenes, and understanding how aroma can affect the brain and the nervous system. And it can be used as a tool with deliberate intent to help us to move from daytime activation, from being always on. Maybe you're hypervigilant, maybe you're feeling constantly a state of anxiety, you're not quite sure why. Moving from that state into one where you feel peaceful, safe, and calm. And I'm talking about your nervous system. This is much more difficult for some people than others, and I'm one of those people. But this fragrance has been created for use on the skin for this part of the 24-hour day. So it smells of something that is buttery, comforting, cocooning, and safe. It has a sandalwood note, which is very dominant, but it's also got sparkling lightness linked to the pink peppercorn. It also has amber and musk. This fragrance has been developed alongside fragrance nose from Givaudan, a female fragrance nose called Julie Noy, because we wanted to make sure this fragrance smelt exquisite and beautiful and something you would want to wear on your skin. This is not a fragrance for your pillow. This is a fragrance for you. It's for your inner world, because this fragrance, unusually, and probably I think I'd like to say the only one on the market, has been built molecule up. Because of the research that we've conducted over as I say, the last 7 years, we know a lot about how different molecules found in essential oils, when brought together, can help the nervous system to regulate. We've also included molecules in here that you can't even smell. They're odorless, but when you inhale them, they still have an impact on the nervous system and have been shown in studies we have conducted to help people to get to sleep and stay asleep. So this is a science-first fragrance, built bottom up, molecule by molecule, but then constructed with a fragrance nose, a fragrance expert, to give you something that is beautiful, something that is emotional, something that you will build a relationship with over time. Because we call this works, obviously we need to make sure that it does. So we did evaluation studies measuring this fragrance in development. We took the most effective blend. We trialed a number of variants, but we measured the one that was most effective on the nervous system. And then we also trialed it with people in their lives. We said, if you use this fragrance, tell us how it affects your evening, and then a separate group, how it affected their sleep. What we wanted to see is, can we help people to feel less stressed? Can we help people to feel more mindful, more available to their families, more able to switch off? And could we help people to get to sleep and stay asleep? And we are the first fragrance brand to be able to make those claims, because in fact, yes, we showed in the studies that in fact, this fragrance, even if you do nothing else, can help you. But for maximum benefit, this fragrance is a moment for you to change, to make changes in your life. It acts as a mental stimulation. So rather than when you're getting in the evening after a stressful day, reaching for a beer or reaching for a glass of wine, reach for this product, because if you inhale this product and you are intentional, you can also use it, combine it with breath work. You can move your body from that active, stressed feeling into relaxation. It helps to build new and better habits. So if you want to connect more deeply with your family, maybe you want to connect and have more intimacy with your partner, you can use this fragrance and combine it with behavioral change. This is why own time is so important. It is a transitional tool that will help you to improve your overall well-being on a 24-hour basis.